Hello, everyone. Supreme Rising, Grand Rising. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video is received, this video is timeless. It is just a voice recorded video, so that's why it's blacked out. Sometimes information is better received when it's just vocal and there isn't any Pictionary or anything in the background to distract what the message is. I really was strongly woken up and guided earlier this morning, Sunday, November 7th. But again, this is timeless, even if this was listened to a year from now. I had to go, quickly get a pen and paper from the downloads I was getting while I was dreaming. I do have very vivid, lucid dreams and do astral travel and astral projection frequently, daily, and have since I was younger. Okay, so I do have a lot of books. I have a lot of things that I've written down from my dreams. If somebody is guided to do that, if they've noticed that they're dreaming more, that their dreams are in details, their dreams are in colors, you're starting where you can actually look at the time on a clock in your dream. You can look in the mirror in your dream, as well as you can read. Those are very advanced abilities to be able to do that. Also, it takes practice if that's something that you want to get better at. Some people want to be skilled while they're dreaming. They take it more than just resting and having a dream. When we relinquish control from our conscious and we are resting, our subconscious is able to show us things without any type of limitations. Okay. So what I had to just write down, and this may seem a little all over the place, that is fine. Those that get a message from it, a slight message, overall message, resonate with the whole entire thing, that is okay. If it triggers you, that is okay as well. And I'll get into, why that might be happening. All triggers are not necessarily bad. There's triggers that light a fire under us and get us into motion. Amen. Okay. So I wrote down, what is the root of jealousy, envy, and pride? Very low, dense emotions. And I call them a disease, a dis-ease. Because when someone is in that frequency, they're not in their highest vibration. So they're not in their light. They're not in their path. Because when they're putting that emotion on to others, it is just doing a disservice for them, because it's not allowing them to be in the highest potential that they can be in. Whatever form of that jealousy, envy, and pride is. In my dream, there was a scale of many layers of what was going on collectively. So I'm not going to just break down just every detail in my dream, but what I'm going to do, and I had to write down, is like what the overall energies that are happening right now, and any messages, channel messages, because I am a channel. I am a vessel. You are a channel and a vessel as well. I think where it's hard for me to understand is when people are jealous or envious of children, of your children, of your grandchildren, or your the way you raised your children, or your relationship with children, right? How can an adult be jealous of a child. That's really some serious inner work that needs, that needs to happen. But then also what was happening is a lot of people have already awakened, right? So many more are awakening at this time. It's a beautiful thing. But then there's also that level where with awakening, where you start feeling alone, or you start feeling like, the black sheep or outcast. You feel like you don't fit in no more. There's just certain individuals and things you're just not impressed. You're just not interested in. It just doesn't do anything for you. It's just almost like, why the hell am I here right now? But there's a huge silence in that I picked up in my dream. I was being silenced. Somebody wanted to silence me. There were others that were being silenced, that if you spoke truth, if you spoke your own truth, because there's facts and then there's truth. So Google that. They're two different things. But within this dream, trying to heal others, I was being ostracized that I don't look like a healer. So a lot of people were influenced by, these images, or, these agents, these bots, these ops that are sent our way. I'm speaking in the Awaken, where, if you see, let's say Oprah Winfrey, like I guess if you look like Oprah Winfrey, or you will listen to her because she has billions of dollars, or or you're not a pastor if you don't have on that robe, which you can get from a Halloween store, and look like a preacher and look like a pastor and get a Bible and say you are, and you're not. So there's this programming that we've been under, that if you don't look a certain way, what spirituality doesn't have a look. But when you're trying to heal and you're trying to speak your truth, it starts irritating other people's spirits, and they just like, I wish she would shut the F up, because these lower energies, they don't want you coming to this organic light. I'm not talking about an artificial light. There's an artificial light, and that's a false illusion. Carolina, stay away from the light. We all saw that movie, right? Okay. So I'm speaking about, when I speak about light, I am referring to organic light. People may hear me say organic more. When I speak about the darkness, I am speaking about organic darkness. I'm not speaking about demonic darkness, things that are hidden, things that are lower, dense, things that are not of love. Okay, organic darkness is the original love. When you are in your mother's womb and you're being birthed, you're developing in the womb of the mother. It is pure darkness in there, and you're growing and you're being loved. Okay? So just to kind of get that out the way. But I had to write some things down. Why, in order to learn from someone, they have to look a certain way or have a certain amount of followers? Why are people affected by how others love on someone? Why is it that, why is there a deeper meaning when someone, what is the deeper meaning when someone wants to silence the truth? Like, there's just certain questions that should be asked, right? Critical thinking. We really, from generation to generation of what this construct of, I'm going to have to speak of America because I'm born in America. My ancestors are from America. They're American Indian. There's this programming that has happened where we're given food, right? We don't have to go hunt for it. We're not farming it ourselves. We just go and get it. And then there's no questions about it. And it's interesting. It resonates for me because somebody else, somewhere else was speaking on the same thing, that how we are complacent. We're comfortable with where we get our food from without knowing where we get our food from. That's a serious control right there, you know? We watched those nature channels, people, surviving, trying to get food, make water, clean water, make a fire, and so on. And we just like, not me. I mean, could we really say we could live off the grid? Could we really say we would really even want to do that, right? But back to the silence. There's a very large awakening, that a shift that has happened since October 10th, that people are wanting to actually speak up. They're wanting to speak up things that happened to them when they were younger, things that have happened to them older, things that they have sacrificed in the name of looking like the good old boy or the good old girl or whatever box somebody wanted to put them in, and how this silencing is happening because we see what's being done in our collectively, right? Like with social media, Facebook, YouTube, where things are being censored. You can't say certain keywords. You're put in Facebook jail if you talk about this, and if it's political, if it's about the jab Kool-Aid, if it's certain things with religion, then it's you're not being sensitive to others' belief. So we came from a time where everybody, revolution time or civil rights and fight for your right. Now it's a time where it's don't speak on this because you might hurt that person's feelings. It's like, how did we get to that point? But these bigger entities, if you will, they're allowed to put their narrative of what they want to put. You damn near got to sit down and watch a cartoon with children at this time because they're putting a heavy sexual agenda on the children, whether it's the same, whether it's with transhuman, whether it's with a child merging with a robot, with the AI. We have to really understand what the program is. When you watching something and on TV, when they used to say, we'll be right back with your regular scheduled program. That was the mind. That was to program. If you really start breaking down the etymology of what the words are, like search engine, when you download something, when you upload a document, break all of those words down. I mean, seriously, you would be so freaking like, wow, dumbfounded, like, oh shit, it really is a thing. But just trying to get back to, people are wanting to speak their truth for the purpose of healing. And in doing so, people are wanting to close your throat chakra. People are wanting to just put their hands over your mouth and just listen. I want to be normal again. What the hell was ever normal? And does normal mean be sheeple? Does normal mean comply without asking any questions. Does normal mean just doing everything that everybody else does? That more sounds like a robot to me, but to each his own. I'm not here to judge. Everybody has the path that they have and that they choose to be on. But where this starts getting real serious is where people are starting to get hurt. Someone's truth will make somebody else so angry. This has nothing to do, their truth has nothing to do with this other person's finances. They're not going to lose not one bloody red penny. They're not going to lose their home. Their children ain't going to die. Ain't nothing going to happen to this other person because somebody else is speaking the truth of their truth. We're not speaking about no conspiracy theory and, those are different kind of light codes and downloads that come in that you're just not going to find in a book. We get that. I am talking about organically, people are waking up and wanting to speak their own truth of what their life was, what their experience was, what they endured, what they suffered, and what makes them happy. People are getting angry at other people being happy, especially those who was being happy during quarantine, when everybody was put on house arrest, pandemic. Like, how dare you be happy right now? Some people found happiness in that solitude. Hello? Some people found happiness in that solitude because you know what? They was forced to go in. All distractions got shut down. That's like we're like a house. Our body is a temple. We're like a house, right? If you want to look at a house, how you build a house with the concrete, with the foundation, with the bricks. But if this house is corroded, there's no, you could patch it up here and you can seal it here. You can make it look good here by adding some. No, the pipes is corroded. It got mold, got asbestos. I'm just going to name all the worst things that will deem a house unlivable. And you go get that boulder and you knock that house down. You gut all that stuff out. And then what do? You rebuild that house, right? So that's the same thing that's happened to us on a energetic level, right? Things that were being band-aid, things that were being, smoothed over or, made to look like everything is okay. No, people, no, there's an awakening where no, this is not okay. This is not okay. Me being silent is not okay anymore. Especially if it can help heal somebody else. I do have some tips because I understand that energy of, we don't want to be in an energy of fear, but we're still human and there are things we would still be afraid of, right? So when you are awakening, and if you will, I'm just going to use, I'm not just saying just for people that are gay, but that terminology of coming out the closet is deeper than somebody attracted to the same sex. I'm going to say coming out of the closet is coming out of your own darkness, coming out of your own shadow of what somebody else might deem shameful or blasphemy or or what they would say is weird or you're corny, oh, you're whack for not wanting to do this anymore, but for wanting to do that. Listen, this could be like a big gangster that, retired from that lifestyle, turned his life around, and now he wants to be a painter and he wants to paint kittens. People gonna be like, wait, what? Do you know what kind of scrutiny that person would get, even though what they would what their old life was? Their old life was of violence or harm or drugs, or I'm just giving examples, right? Of things that, because we see these things on TV. A lot of times some people really never met a real gangster before. We get our perception of what a gangster is from TV. Okay. And that's the problem. A lot of things that we think we know, if you really think about it, is from what we saw on TV, somebody else's narrative. Oh, our narrative of what a Muslim is, a narrative of what, I'm not going to give all the different examples. Please, those that are resonating with me and those who know, those who don't know yet, then they don't know yet. We people want this pill called the truth, but nobody wants to swallow it. Nobody wants to swallow it, because you know what happens when you swallow that pill? There's no going back. There's no unhearing what you heard. There's no unlearning what you learned. There's no unseeing what you seen, especially when you see with your first eye. That's an automatic. When you see with that first eye, everything else starts looking different. Colors even start looking different. Colors start getting brighter to you. Okay? But those that are afraid and having a hard time with their truth, this is the golden, we're entering, and we're in the golden ages. We're entering in the age, we're in the age of Aquarius. A lot of information, and then a lot of creativity. So within my dream, what I was told to bring this to my channel, be it small, I'm bringing it because as I am speaking it, energy travels. Energy travels. So me speaking this, and even though I'm uploading it to YouTube, it is still being traveled around this galaxy. And that's an amazing, phenomenal thing. So, but those that are being afraid, you can take what your truth is and put it into something creative. So if you was a singer, you would put your truth into singing, okay? If you are somebody that cooks, or, you want to get into being a chef, or, you're somebody that's wanting to take your cooking to the next level, or even if however you cook for other people, maybe you can tell your story through food, through, certain colors of the food you're going to make a storyline, and then be able to, whoever you're serving that food to, you would incorporate your truth through that food. If you were somebody that dance and you're doing a piece and you're dancing what your truth is, and again, you speak of your truth through this creativity. If you're a writer, you do poem. Even if you were somebody that knew how to create video games or children's books or cartoons, whatever creativity that you know how to do, even if you was somebody that wasn't there yet, and whatever that you love and whatever your hobby is, start your truth through that which you love. People can't silence that. It is what you love. Okay? Because there are a lot of people who do get angry and do want to get violent, when we just, enough is enough. And, those people have to look at themselves in the mirror. And at the end of the day, we are like in a reflection. We're like mirrors for each other. So if there's something you're seeing with somebody else, like if I wouldn't believe that the small amount of subscribers I have on here are haters, but if there was a hater, right, they would have to, as above, so below. So maybe some people are here just to be haters, just like we have the villain and the superhero, one and the same. Not, well, kind of is one and the same, because you have your shadow self and you have your light self. Nothing can be just all love and light, because then if you're in the situation and you don't know your shadow self, anybody can control that and get that out of you, and then now they can make you be the villain, yet you was just minding your own business. So as being mirrors of one another, you see somebody happy, somebody, maybe taking pictures, or, there is a thing where somebody's doing too much. Okay. Sometimes we could just read through those people that, okay, well, maybe that person is going through something and, they are having to fake it to make it. There's two different kinds of fakes. Okay. If you really are, really feeling down on yourself, you don't like your body image, you don't like your skin, your hair, your teeth, whatever, but you start doing these little things to build that up, and you start seeing the results, you start getting a compliment, you may want more compliments, but that should only go to a certain point, because you should be able to give yourself that validation. You should be able to give yourself that confidence and that compliment without, it's nice when you hear it from somebody else, but it's not where your day is ruined if somebody didn't like your page or if somebody didn't give you a compliment. Okay, so that's a little over the top. But I'm speaking about somebody genuinely healing from something and starting to love. Once you get out of that grief process, the being angry, being mad, being disappointed, whatever those grief things are that first happens, being afraid, those first things that happen when you're just starting to wake up, because all these things start fluttering in. What is people going to think of me? What is my family going to think? You have some people that just doesn't resonate with Christianity, or doesn't resonate with the church, or Jehovah's Witness, or Islam, whatever it is. Somebody's just like, these things don't resonate with me. I want to find my own calling. But then it's like, what is people going to think? Once that phase is over, because everything is a phase when it comes to growth. Like when you're building, again, I'm going to go back to the house. When you're building a foundation for the house, you don't stop at the foundation part. You got to get all the way to the roof, to the chimney. You got to build the whole entire structure of the house, right? So putting the creativity together for your truth is, what my guides show me that could really probably assist so many at this time. And then the beautiful thing with that, the main objective is not to get currency, but doing that could actually bring currency. So that's a beautiful thing within itself. But those that's really having a hard time watching people glow up with the mirror, what happens eventually is a hater will either gossip about that person, who or she think that they are, or they might even get obsessed with them, or they may even, depending on how close or not a hater is to this person. They can cyberbully them. They can, just think of all of that energy to be a hater, to be a troll, I guess if that's what you signed up for. But what eventually happens, right? Because if people start copying you or wanting to emulate you, or even if they try to mimic you, but you know what, as you're healing, they just don't realize they are going to start to heal, because they're going to start getting that nasty feeling in the pit of their stomach, like, ew, who am I? And I didn't realize I was that disgusting. For somebody to really be triggered because of how other people are loved, instead of, wow, that's really beautiful that person has so many people that love them. It is a sad thing, but the way energy goes, the way your light goes, unless these individuals are possessed with them demons, and they got demonic energy on them, and they have demonic, maybe reptilian, archines kind of thing within their bloodline, they may not necessarily turn to organic light. They may just really stay like that. But the ones that maybe just because of society, so to speak, got them into that hater